Hola, mi gente. I know you didn't expect to see me here on Sunday of all days. Yeah, I'm here. I want to share some things with you. Welcome to On the Block with Jen. Okay, this is going to be a Sunday quickie. This is not my regular show. Okay, my panelists are off tonight. They're on all week. They need a break. Okay, I need a break as well. I'm actually in the middle of doing my laundry. But I had this on my heart to share because it's something I've not only experienced in my life, but I've observed a lot of people suffer from. So I'm going to give you a couple of quick tips, okay, to help you with family trauma. Family. It's Sunday. I figured it's a good day to talk about family. I hope you guys caught my weekend shows. Freaky Friday was amazing. We had Mr. Justin up here. He talked about effing your woman into submission, which actually doesn't even entail actual effing. Very interesting show on Friday. And last night, Sexy Saturday, was how adult film had an effect on your evolution of lovemaking. It was also very, very interesting. Lots of fun, lots of laughs. So if you want to catch up on my weekend shows, feel free to do so. They were fun. Today is a different side of us. I want to talk about family. I'm not going to be here long. This is literally going to be a quickie. So if you're watching this on a replay, hey, thank you. Hopefully this will help. Again, if you want to support the show, same rules, Cash App on the Block with Jen. You can reach me on all social media platforms on the Block with Jen, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, on the Block with Jen at Gmail. Okay. Last night, my super chats weren't working because we got rated R by YouTube last night. That's how sexy it got. We got rated R. And before you watch it, you got to prove you're 18. I don't know. They rated us R last night, first time, but first time for everything. All right, guys, so let's get into this. Something that I had on my heart to talk about. No one knows I'm up right now, okay? No one knows I'm up. I am literally running errands, doing chores, went to the gym, went tanning. And I was like, I really want to stop in. This is on my heart to talk to people about. I see a lot of people suffering from this in their family. What's up, Anthony Alexander? Salute, Kareem. Good to see you guys. So let's get into this. We carry a burden of our parents, right? Our parents can hurt us very, very badly, right? Whether we had a two-parent home or one-parent home, our parents can hurt us very, very badly. So I wanted to give you some food for thought, right? We carry trauma from our parents, and I'm gonna give you some tips that helped me, right, in certain areas, and I saw my relatives and friends do as well, and I've advised them this same way. So hopefully you can make this useful. Our parents, right, although we look at them as figures of authority and they're supposed to know it all. I mean, by golly, they had children. So if you had children, you were ready to have children. That is so far from the truth. No one's ever ready to have children. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if it's a one parent home or a two family home. It is a whole different dynamic to bring forth a child in this world. And I'm speaking to also people that are parenting right now who are having a difficult time parenting. When you have a child, your life changes dramatically. Okay, it's an experience like no other. Our parents, especially if we're a certain age, our parents back in the day were just trying to figure it out. Unfortunately, sex makes babies. Now the babies are here, right? So while our parents are figuring out their lives, figuring out their income, now there's a whole child they have to keep alive and educate and make sure they are good, productive human beings, right? Doesn't always work out that way because our parents are still trying to figure out who they are and how they are going to eat and what their future looks like, right? As time goes on, it gets better. We're in the age of information. But our parents were not so lucky. They were literally, and this is some, not all. Some of you watching may have had amazing upbringings and amazing parents. Salute to you. I hope that generationally you are taking over for them and you are now in tradition with your family being amazing, productive human beings and also raising amazing, productive children. So happy for you. But the majority of humanity is not such. So I'm talking to you guys, okay? So our parents, they have us, and then they're trying to figure life out. And then we're caught in the middle. So if there's some toxicity, if they've suffered trauma, which more than likely they suffered trauma, your parents suffered trauma greatly. I wanted to take the burden off your shoulder that what they did for you, to you, or didn't do for you or to you is not personal, had nothing to do with you. Nothing Nada. They were two human beings or one human being who was trying to figure life out and was scared to death that now they have a child or children that they have to raise up to be productive citizens, law abiding, productive, whole, trauma free citizens. That usually does not happen. It's generational trauma. They don't know how to raise kids. They didn't have the tools, and they bring you up as best as they can. So, my advice, right, is do not take personally what your parents did or did not do for you. And you looking at other people like, I wish I had that type of mother. I wish I had that type of father. I'd be better off, right? It happens, right? Sex makes babies. Sex does not make good parents. Did you hear what I said? Sex makes babies. Sex does not make good parents, right? So our parents fell short, right? Some of our parents fell short, and we have to let go of maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe I was a bad kid. Maybe I could have been better. Maybe I could have went to college. Maybe I could have been a doctor. Maybe I could have been a lawyer. I could have been better. I could have been a better kid. Maybe I got in too much trouble. Maybe I talked back too much. Maybe I should have did this for my mother and this for my father, and blah, blah. You have to let that go. You can't carry that, right? Because your parents, they've lived their lives, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. Your parents lived their lives, and now it's up to you to move forward and live your life. And it's hella hard to move on with your life and be good for your children if you're still carrying the baggage of your parents. Time heals, right? And you have to let time heal. So let me get into the three things that are very, very, very specific in family trauma, okay? Favoritism. If you are not an only child, okay, and you experience favoritism in your family, it can destroy you, okay? Parents, again, sex makes babies, sex doesn't make good parents. Parents, right, sometimes blatantly favor certain children. Blatantly, because this is the children that behaved, or these are the children that finished school, or these are the children that don't talk back, so they favor those children. Or, parents are human beings. Maybe this child doesn't look like the father and that child does, so they feeling a certain way about that child because he or she reminds you of the man or woman who did you wrong. And this is not gender specific. There are men that feel a ways about their daughters if their daughters look like the mother. Okay. There are women who don't like the son because the son looked like the baby father. This is not gender specific. Everyone is susceptible to this type of trauma and resentment. Favoritism. If you are a child, one of two, three, or four, and you weren't the favorite, again, do not take it personally. That is an issue, okay, that your parent has. It's not about you. It's about the issue that they're carrying and the trauma that they didn't heal from. I know it sounds easier, okay, than it is me saying don't take it personally, but it is conducive. It is necessary. It is imperative to your survival to not take the shortcomings of your parents personally, okay? I am in full understanding that your first relationships are with your mother and your father, and that is what molds you for the world. But they are not the world. They are one experience of a woman, and they are one experience of a man. Do not let who they favored, okay, fuck your head up for life. Grandparents do it too. Okay, grandparents do it too. They favor a specific grandchild, and you see they're getting more cookies, or they're getting more hugs and kisses, and they're getting more loves. We don't know. And you're talking about grandparents. So grandparents are even more uncouth, okay, than our parents are. Our grandparents are like, been there, done that. I'm 75, 80, 85. I don't give a damn. I like your sister better than you. They're even more uncouth. You cannot personalize it. These are people that have gone through trauma. Therapy just started trending now. It's trending now. Everybody's in therapy. Everybody's depressed. Everybody's on medication. But back in the day, our grandparents' therapy, where, what, who that? Parents, same thing. Okay. So the good thing is we're in the age of information. Therapy is more trendy now, and we can, heal and get therapists and read books and listen to people talk online, hopefully good, positive people, because there's a lot of garbage online. There are a lot of garbage people online telling you what to do and what not to do, and they have an agenda. Okay. They could give a good goddamn what happens to you when you log off. All right. So the good thing is that, now you can get therapy. You can be more open to talking to your children. I'm more open to talking to my child than my mother was with me, than my grandparents were with me. Right. But I didn't take it personally. That is life. There's some trauma that we don't even know about that our parents went through. I mean, everything from sexual assault, from physical abuse, from verbal abuse, from growing up poor, from things that they experienced that no one ever came and spoke to them about. Hey, how are you doing? Okay. Because, children are supposed to be seen, not heard. Go over there, go to the kids' table. Right. I think now these generations are like, let's talk about your feelings, what's going on. Let me check on you. What are you looking at online? It wasn't like that when we were growing up, and it sure as hell wasn't like that with our grandparents. Right. And that's why we can't take it personally, because we are dealing with people with unresolved issues and trauma. Right. We can't personalize somebody else's trauma. Right. Although it affected us greatly growing up because they projected right onto us. Can't take it personally. Understand our grandparents and our parents done been through some shit that you will never know and they will never confide in you about. Okay? You will never know what trauma your parents have been through. That's why it is important to not personalize. These people are trying to get through life, but sex made babies, right? Sex made us, and here we are. Second thing, because I said I wasn't going to be on here long. These are just some tips that helped me, and I saw helped, other people. Kareem says nowadays kids get involved in adult conversations. Kareem, you're not going to like this, but kids should be involved in adult conversations. How so? Adults should be more open to talking to children about adult conversations, because we, again, are in the age of information. I said yesterday, children are exposed to pornography at the age of 5. Okay. So that thing about, oh, this is adult business and has nothing to do with you, you can throw that out the window, right? With social media leveled out the playing field, and now everybody's metaphorically, so to speak, the same age. What do I mean by that? That the same thing an 86-year-old is privy to online, a 5-year-old is privy to as well. A 40-year-old is privy to as well. So if there's pornography on Twitter, an 80-year-old could run into it. Your 5-year-old could run into it. Your 13-year-old can run into it. Your 25-year-old, your 45-year-old can run into the same thing, right? There are no boundaries. That little button you got to click, click if you're 18 so you can move forward, doesn't mean anything, right? So, when you say kids getting involved in adult conversations, it's time that adults realize that they have to talk to children like they're adults. I didn't say treat them like they're adults because they're immature, their brains aren't developed, and they can't handle certain responsibilities. But if you think that these kids don't know everything that they know, you're making a big mistake, because their friends are talking about it, their little cousins are talking about it, they're learning about it in school. So you have to involve your children in adult-like conversations, because they're maturing faster now. Of course, their brains aren't developed and there are things that they can't handle, but they're maturing faster in terms of information. Where we didn't know about porn till 13, 14. These kids 5, 6 years old, playing innocently on their iPads on YouTube Kids, and some animal wanted to make, a pornography video and throw it in YouTube Kids. And now your 5-year-old is exposed to it, right? All types of violence and things like that. So we have to change the way we think. We have to evolve with the times. Second thing. Praising other kids. That's something that parents do, right? If you're in a mixed family, sometimes stepkids, stepmothers, stepfathers, whatever, kids come together, right? Different kids come together. Sometimes it's your cousin. Parents have the bad habit of praising children that didn't have the opportunity that their own children had. Okay? I'm going to give you an example. Parents have the bad habit of praising children that did not have the same opportunities that their own children had, whether it's people they see on television, whether it's your cousin, you know what I mean, Coco, or your nephew, Junebug. If they are doing better than how you're doing and your parent praises them, that's a blow to you, right? Especially when your parents didn't have a college plan for you, when your parents didn't have a healthy environment for you, when your parent was toxic, right? And you're the one that lived underneath them. Sometimes your parent will move on and marry someone else, and that person has children. Now you're a blended family, right? Or you may have an aunt and her kids are doing better than you are. Your parent, mother and fathers do this. They will praise that other kid and that other family. Okay. And they will do it blatantly in front of you. Right. And this happens a lot. Right. Because, there's this thing where it's like anybody can be a groupie. We equate groupies to celebrities, but no, sometimes our parents are groupies of other people's children. And the retort is, hold on a minute, mom and dad. You didn't get me a college plan. You didn't get me therapy to get over the toxicity of the man that you married or the woman that you chose to have children with. Wait a minute. Why are you praising them over me? And you didn't give me those opportunities. Like, where was my college plan? That kid over there had two good parents in that home. Or that kid over there had an amazing father. Or that kid over there, there's nepotism going on in his family. That's why his father's an attorney and he's an attorney as well. So thank you so much for the super chat, Alpha Villains. Just showing support. Keep grinding and keep up them thirst trappers. The thirst traps is always coming, Alpha Villains. Thank you so much. I see you doing your thing too. You inspire me as well. People that are on this grind every day inspire me as well. There are days that I don't feel like going on and I see some of y'all come on and I'm like, I got to get on. Damn it, I got to get on. And that, going back to the topic, that hurts when you're watching either your mother or your father praise someone else. And the first thing you think is, ooh, you motherfucker, did you send me to college? Did you make sure this family environment was healthy? Did you? I don't give a damn what my cousin is doing right now with their life. I don't give a damn who my brother married. I don't give a damn what my sister's studying. I don't give a damn, right? That's usually the feeling. Again, do not personalize, because what your parents are really projecting is their failure to make you, right, a kid like the one they're praising. That is the projection. The projection is not, oh, my kid's a failure and look what those kids did. What they're really saying, okay, though it sounds like, why can't you be more like your sister? Why can't you be more like your brother? Your cousin's about to get their master's degree, right? That's not really what they're saying. That is what they're saying, okay? I want you to understand what their feeling is, and what they're projecting is, damn, them kids did good. Where did I go wrong? But because our parents are very, very prideful, they're not going to say that to you. And they don't know how to communicate. We just started learning how to communicate. Okay. We just started learning. We're barely there. Okay. Our parents don't know how to communicate. Hey, sorry. And that's another thing. Okay. There's a big joke about women never apologize. Trying to get a parent to apologize. Trying to get a parent to apologize is like trying to give a shark a root canal. You will be missing half your body. Okay. So you have to let go of that. You're going to get an apology and that you're going to get the real meaning behind their words. So don't personalize that either. When they're praising other kids in your family, you're like, what the fuck? Well, what about me? Shit, I'm out here. I ain't on crack or nothing. Right? But what they're really projecting is their failures. It's just our parents don't know how to communicate. Ooh, I kind of failed because I wanted to have sex. I didn't really want to have a baby, right? You can't personalize that. You cannot do it. It will be a burden on your spirit. You will always feel inadequate. You will always be comparing yourself to the next person because your parent compared you to someone else that had nothing to do with what was going on in your house. So is it messed up Is it hypocritical, right, of your parent? Yes. But that is what happened. And you have to, it's a conditioning and a process and a practice to be present. Be present. When you're thinking about something your parents did, said, or didn't do, you're living in the past, and nobody gets anywhere walking backwards. And that is literally what you're doing, is walking backwards. Nobody gets anywhere forward looking back. Oh, you're going to bust your ass eventually. And they are there. Those little engrams are there. Those little ideas are there. Everything is filed. It's like I said the other day, these are cameras and your ears are audio recorders. Okay. So everything you've ever seen and everything you've ever heard is in here somewhere. Right. And when you wake up in the morning, do you know that your brain is literally blank? It's like a notepad. And then your brain wakes up and looks at you and says, what are we going to think about today? That is what your brain does every morning. Here we go, yawn. We are up. We in bed looking at the ceiling. Okay, I'm still alive. Cool. Let me get to this to-do list, right? And your brain says, what are we going to think about today? Right? So it's up to you. So when your brain asks that of you in the morning, it is up to you what you're going to write on that notepad. So it's a disservice to you to say, I'm going to think about that thing my mother did to me when I was 15. I'm going to think about that thing, when my father was supposed to come pick me up and he didn't come pick me up. That's what I'm going to think about today. And guess what your brain says? Let's do it. That's what your brain does. Your brain's not emotional, right? That's what your brain does. Ooh, we're going to think about that time that our mother slapped us in front of the school, everybody in the class. That's what we're going to think about today. Let's do it. That's what your brain does. So when you wake up in the morning, you have to make an extreme conscious effort to what your brain is going to do for you that day. An extreme conscious effort. It is not easy. If it was easy, it wouldn't be a bunch of banshee and crazy people running around online and in the street and on social media. You know what I'm saying? If it was easy, it's not easy. I'm not here to say it's easy. This took me, the things that I've experienced took me a lot of work. It's a forever process. Childhood trauma is not something that you get a therapist and then, I'm cured now. You take a pill or I'm cured now. It's a reconditioning of your mind and your body and your spirit and your soul. It's a reconditioning. It's just like I work out. Do you guys work out? I hope you guys work out. It's very important. But I work out, right? You know what happens when you work out and then you don't work out for a couple days? Your body says, okay. And you start morphing back into what you were prior to working out. You start morphing back, right? So that is how our brains work if we don't condition it every day, okay, to very consciously putting what we want in our brains. Just the same way we go to the gym, we are very conscious in there. We want bigger shoulders. We want bigger chest. We want stronger legs. We are in there. We got intent. Okay, we got intent. That is how you have to treat your brain. That's how intentional you have to be with your brain when you wake up in the morning, because your brain is waiting for instruction. Okay, your brain is waiting for instruction every morning. So what are you going to put in there tomorrow morning? Oh, I ain't got enough money, and had my father X, Y, and Z, I'd be in a better position right now. Had my mother not X, Y, and Z, I'd be and your brain is like, okay, let's think about the parents all day today. That's what your brain does, right? The last thing that I want to bring up, it's a big one, right? It's saving your parents, the burden you have of saving your parents. I can't tell. I've done it when I was a little girl. There's a recording of me back in the 70s of me telling my mama, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get money and I'm going to get you a big house and I want to, and I'm going to do this for you, mommy. And that's how we are since when we're very little. We become saviors as children. Our savior complex develops when we're children. We draw houses for our mommy, right? We draw cars for our daddy. We want to just give our parents, right? We are in love with these two people, right? And then we grow up like that. And here's what I want to tell you. I am in no way, shape, or form telling you that if you come up, you're not supposed to take care of your parents. We're supposed to take care of our elders in general. Okay, they took care of us. We reciprocate. We take care of them. Okay, they took care of us when we were babies, couldn't walk, talk, shit in our diapers. That's going to happen to our parents. Okay, we have to take care of them. It is important, imperative that we take care of our elders. It's a must. Okay, that's different from what I'm about to say. A lot of us carry the burden of we have to save our parents. We have to save them. We have to make it so we can save them. That can destroy you. Okay? You can love and care for your mother and your father, but your life's mission, your life's goal should not be spent on saving your parents. Okay? Your parents had their time, right? They've lived their lives. Of course, you're never going to leave your parents hanging. Okay? And I'm talking about for people that still care for their parents, because some of us have cut our parents off completely, right? And we help, financially from a distance, right? I would never leave my parents hanging, right? Ever, right? If I got it, they got it. But that's not what I'm saying. We carry the burden of saving our parents, giving to our parents, putting them in mansions. And I bought my mama a house. How many times have we seen that reoccurring theme? Not gonna buy my mama a house, right? That should not be a burden that you carry. You have to live your life and prepare yourself for the children that are coming that you made because you wanted to have sex. Remember I said sex makes babies? And now the babies are here. Your children are your burden, not your parents. You were the burden of your parents, but your parents aren't your burden. You have to care for your elders, absolutely, but they are not your burden. They are not your burden. They did not birth you so you could save them. And some parents, they act like that. They think like that. Well, I had these kids. I know they're going to take care of me. No. Some parents did not put the effort to make sure they were set up before they had children, to make sure them children was going to have college plans and good homes, and there may be some, that generational wealth passed down. They didn't secure that. They just had sex, and then sex made us, right? So why should we be burdened to now save these people in a way where it's like it's our life mission now? Now we're on this planet and we're like, I gotta do this. I gotta do this for my moms. I gotta do this for my dad. I gotta do that. It's not your burden. It is not your burden. If you got it, of course your parents got it, but it should not be your life's mission. It should not be your life's mission because you miss out on your own life and then you miss out what you got to do for your kids. Okay? Please do not confuse that with you shouldn't be taking care of your elders. We should all be taking care of our elders is what we're supposed to do. Okay? I'm talking about the burden of saving your parents. That is not a child's job. That is not a child's job. I've seen people have a gang of kids and then the eldest is burdened with raising their siblings. That is not that little girl's job or that little boy's job to help you raise the 4, 5, 6 kids you wanted to have because you wanted to have sex. That is not their burden. Children should not bear the brunt of the burden of an adult's decisions. You had to pull yourself out of, wow, they made me, but they didn't have a college plan in place. Wow, they made me, but they hated each other, and I had to grow up listening to these motherfuckers, beat each other down in the house. Wow, they made me, and now they got the audacity to prefer my cousin because my cousin went to college, or prefer my brother because my brother's married and in a good home, and they didn't help him do it. He did that on his own, right? So it's not your burden. You have things that you have to shed in life that you experienced growing up in your household. You got to shed that. So you can't tack on I got to get my mama a house one day. Get your life in order and get your affairs in order. And whatever trickles down from that, you're going to take care of moms. You're going to take care of dad. But we have to let go of this thing of making our parents our burden. It is not a good life. And you have a whole life to live, and life is short. Okay. I hope you guys understood everything I said. Right. I felt this on my heart to say because I feel like it's a burden a lot of adults carry regarding their parents and personalizing what our parents did or didn't do. And these were just two human beings trying to figure life out who wanted a nut. Very, very rarely do you find two human beings who got together and planned a family, okay, and had the money ready without government assistance, without parental assistance, without a GoFundMe, without a baby shower. Very, very rarely are you going to find two human beings that got together, planned their children, raised them in a loving, caring, functional, and productive environment. Very rarely. Most of us are here because somebody wanted a nut. You know that, I know that, right? So keep that in mind when you feel your parents fell short. Somebody wanted a nut. Okay? Now, with that said, some of us have amazing parents, okay, who gave us lessons that weren't perfect, but gave us lessons that we took on in life, okay? My dad, I talk about him all the time. He's a fucking tyrant, okay? My dad's parenting style was the art of war, all right? The art of war. But there was a lot of jewels and gems in his teachings that now I have, and you ain't fucking with me because of it, right? So you got to take the good with the bad. And in between that good with the bad, do not personalize where your parents fell short. And oh, our parents fell short a lot. Had us wondering why we were even here. Well, why'd you even fucking have me then? They wanted a nut, honey. And there's nothing wrong with that because we like nuts, all of us. We all like nuts. So don't personalize it. Free yourself. Get in the habit of waking up in the morning and putting what you want in your mind. Do not just sit there idleness like, here I go, slipping into that thing my mother told me when I was 13. I was never going to be shit. Or here I go, slipping into that time my dad was supposed to come pick me up and he never showed up after he went for a box of cigarettes and some milk. Be intentional with your thoughts. Be intentional with what you're going to put in your mind every morning. Every morning you are blank. You decide what goes in there. You decide. No one else decides. Okay? You have to decide. All right, guys. So I am out of here. I wanted to leave you with that. Thank you so much for holding me down in the chat. Thank you again for the super chat. Alpha Villains. Share this. Watch it more than once if it helps. Show it to maybe one of your siblings who may need it. This is the last thing I'm going to say. If you are the favorite, okay, and you know you are if you're the favorite, instead of, you know what I mean, basking in it and being happy that you're the favorite, use your privilege. Use your privilege to make sure that your sibling is getting treated fairly, okay? If you're the favorite, you already won. You're already on top in your family. If you're the favorite, use that privilege. Use that privilege to reach out to your siblings that don't have that privilege, right? Because it's not their fault that you're the one that's preferred and you're the one that's favored. It's not their fault, all right? No one should have to survive their parents. And yet a lot of us, that's exactly what we have to do, is survive our parents in our upbringing. So if you are that sibling or that aunt, that uncle or whatever, and you are the preferred one or the one in the family that's listened to, use that privilege to make sure that you reach out to that kid or reach out to that sibling and be like, you know, this ain't got nothing to do with you, right? You know, mom and dad be on some shit, right? Right? Use that privilege because you never know what healing you will do to a person. Okay? You will never know. Words are powerful. Words are powerful both ways, good and bad. All right, guys. So I left you with that. I hope you enjoyed. And don't forget, hit that like and subscribe if it's your first time here. I got to get back to my laundry and making Sunday dinner. So hit that like and subscribe for me. Don't forget to support the show on the Block with Jen Cash App. And I will see you during the week. You know, I always got some really, really dope topics for y'all. We going to come out big guns blazing on Tuesday. All right. So stay tuned for that. And you guys know every Friday and Saturday, it gets sexy on the block. We do Freaky Friday and Sexy Saturday. All right, guys, enjoy your Sunday. Get some rest. And don't forget, tomorrow morning, you decide. You decide what your brain is going to be on. Okay? All right, guys. Good night. And I'm out.